It seems that so much of the world is hidden behind academic disciplines, that if we look in the library of the Dewey Decimal System, or we look at the college catalog, it's probably a better example, you're kind of required to major in something. And only a few essentially double major. And you're really not allowed, particularly as an academic, to get a professorship. It's very difficult to do that in an interdisciplinary field. And it's very difficult to do that in sort of transdisciplinary, where you're actually kind of pulling pieces, where you're not just at the overlap of two fields, but you're really pulling ideas from one area to the other. That the system doesn't allow for that. And because of that, there's very few people in the system, in the academic system, who have any formal training in multiple disciplines, right? Try to find somebody in the medical school that's a competent programmer. Try to find a programmer that knows anything about neuroscience. Try to find a psychologist who knows anything about cybernetics or robotics. And I think that's very unfortunate. We didn't see that as much in the 50s and 60s. We, I think, had a lot more crosstalk then. And if we look at Gray Walter, for example, who built the first mechanical robot tortoises, he called them, he was a neurologist. And I often joke with the students that Alan Turing didn't have a computer science degree. He was a mathematician. And that Richard Hamming, who invented error correcting codes, one of the most important ideas in computer science, he also was trained as a mathematician. That you had very interesting work being done at these crossroads. One of the more interesting things that came out of the mid-early 80s was a collaborative course with Richard Feynman, Carver Mead, and John Hopfield. And as you might be aware, John Hopfield just won the Nobel Prize for his work that kind of came out of this computational neuroscience, thinking about dynamical systems and vectors and high-dimensional spaces in the context of memories and thinking and thoughts, the kind of things that we discuss in psychology or maybe neuroscience. And that's what we need more of, especially in the next couple decades. I think it's going to be critical that young people break out of this mold and choose 2 or 3 majors, choose 2 or 3 minors, go outside the catalog, go to a liberal arts school and study physics and math, go to an engineering school and study poetry, right? Force yourself or force the curriculum to allow you to do that, because that's where the important stuff happens. It reminds me, Richard Feynman, when he played the bongo drums. And when he says that whenever he went to play the bongo drums, they always happened to mention that he was a theoretical physicist. But when he went to give a physics talk, they never mentioned that he was also a bongo player. And try to find yourself in that rare space.